That was a very energetic MC, right? Hello, everyone. We are not going to make you stomp. We are not going to make you clap. But please give these speakers a warm round of hands. My name is Nathan Lee. I will be your moderator today for this session. And hopefully, we can deliver some nice messages about gaming insight, gaming industry insight, or just insights about the industry in general, to make this session really fruitful. We have interesting mixture of speakers today. Chris is a master builder. Nathan Kim, not to be confused with myself, my name is Nathan Lee. Nathan Kim is a speaker, better version of Nathan. He's leading a marketing department of UNOPND. And we have Hazel, she's leading venture capital, to enrich the industry. So given that, why don't we start with the first question? Could each of you please briefly introduce yourselves? Why don't we start with Chris first?
Hey. Hello. Hi, I'm Chris from Gomble. Gomble is casual game developer in Korea. We attracted 100 million unique users from all around the world with 150 games so far. So such as, some of you have heard of Random Dice or BB10, those are our best hit games. So leveraging those track records, Gomble is now aiming to migrate and bring all the casual Web2 gamers into Web3. That's our vision. And then we attracted the investment from Binance Labs, Spartan, Animoca, and Polygon Ventures last year. So personally, prior to Gomble, I used to work at Google for the last 7 years as an industry lead in the casual game industry. So I provided a lot of consultation services to the gaming companies in terms of business development, marketing, and monetizations. So great to meet you all. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Kim. I'm a marketing director of UNOPND. UNOPND is one of the leading incubators in Asia, Web3 incubators, which is specialized in mostly NFT, gaming, entertainment, and metaverse projects. I've been working in the Web3 industry since 2017, mostly as a marketer and community builder, and started working at UNOPND and diving deep into NFT and gaming projects since 2021. So thank you so much for having me today, and I'm looking forward to the discussions with industry experts.
Hi everyone. I'm Hazel. So in case anyone is wondering, I flew down from Singapore, and it's not my first time in India. I actually had an opportunity to be in Mumbai, but it was 6 years ago. So great opportunity to be back again. So I'm here representing aelf. aelf is a layer 1 blockchain. We ICO'd a little while back in 2018, and we're invested in by top investors like Hash, FBG, Galaxy, etc. So what is unique about us is that we run on C#. So we allow any projects or any users to easily write and deploy smart contracts on us using programming languages that are native to most programmers. So I myself, I lead the ventures team. So we launched a 50 million ecosystem fund this year during Token 2049. And although we say that we're sector agnostic, most of our investments so far have been in gaming, which explains my participation in this panel. Yep, thank you.
Awesome. Now we have such a great blend of people, a blend of the nice backgrounds. Why don't we try to hear about what makes them interesting, right? So can we try to take the opposite turn this time? Could you share a little bit about what interesting observations are you seeing about the industry, or maybe about the market, or about specific jurisdiction, for example, India, from your seat?
Yep, sure. So I think, previously, before I joined, the blockchain space looking at gaming, I was actually working with one of the largest Web2 gaming developers in China. And I think back then the narrative in the gaming space is all about AAA games, having a lot of game logic on chain. And then we see a lot of money flowing to this area, but because the development cycle is so long, we have yet to see a lot of very solid games going live and being able to acquire users. So I think over the past few years, the narrative has shifted a little bit away from AAA towards what we see like hyper-casual, casual to mid-core games. This is especially so in Southeast Asia because if you look at a game profile here, not everyone has a console game or like a PC that's able to support very high graphics and rendering. So most of the people use mobile, most of the people use Android phones. So that makes casual gaming a very suitable fit for Southeast Asia. And I think that is something that we see in common for the Indian market as well in terms of the game types and gamer profiles.
Thank you. Next turn, Nathan.
So these days, it's easier to see a lot of Web3 games targeting traditional users, so-called Web3 users, because the Web3 market itself is too small. And the competition is too intense these days. So most of the AAA games are targeting traditional users by launching their game, not just on their website, maybe on Epic Store or Steam Market as well. But the thing is that we should not really overwhelm traditional gamers with so many different Web3 elements. So like governance, tokenomics, etc., and token incentives. So we should let them have some time to adjust, to get used to the token incentives and all the Web3 elements one by one. So they can enjoy the game more organically, and there could be more demand to experience and enjoy the Web3 elements. And it's not actually a gaming project though. One of our incubated projects, Model House, could be a good reference for it. So Model House is building a decentralized K-pop girl group leveraging blockchain and NFT. And they've been building a very sound, firm, fan-based user ecosystem as well. So we thought users don't need to, and they don't want to, understand and learn about difficult Web3 technologies and jargons as well. So we keep all the difficult words like governance, tokenomics, NFT, all the things behind the service application, and let them enjoy the service first. And so far, most of the users are female, aged like 10 to 30, and the thing is, they don't understand the Web3 technology at all, but they can enjoy the product and the idol building as well. We let them vote, decentralized vote, to build and to support their own idol, and they can decide a lot of different things in the ecosystem. And so far we distributed over 1 million NFTs, and users can buy and mint the NFT using their application via a credit card payment. And they can even buy the NFT at a regular convenience store in South Korea as well. So the user onboarding process is very seamless and very easy. And as I see, a lot of enterprise companies, gaming companies, are jumping into Web3 industry as well, especially in East Asia. So for example, in Korea, there's Nexon. Nexon is building Maple Universe, and there's Per Obvious building the EVE Online. So both of them are appealing traditional users with their user-generated content ecosystem. We saw a huge growth and success back in the 2017, and a lot of content creators and YouTubers, streamers, they enjoyed and they made a huge value within the metaverse ecosystem. So let's say Roblox, Minecraft, there are so many content creators, but the problem is they received less than 30% of the revenue they generated. So a lot of players, people, they thought it's not fair, but Web3 gaming industry can deliver more fairer revenue stream and all the user content creator ecosystem. So we think the future of the Web3 gaming will be good, and you can also leverage some Web3 native marketing tools as well to onboard Web3 users more easily. So Galaxy, Quest 10, and even Zilli, you can use to onboard Web3 users from the early stage. You can distribute some financial incentives and membership points for them to participate in different types of missions and accomplishments. And there's Persona, which is a decentralized Web3 marketing platform to distribute your own content to exact target audience with a very cost-effective budget. And you could, Blaze and Addressable could be also useful for you to promote your product and manage your customer, user community as well.
Awesome. And given that we are seemingly getting out of the bear market, Chris, this is now your turn to share alpha.
Yeah, it's very hard time, right? So during the long bear market, main game sector has engaged in more deeper reflections, and then consequently there are some surges in the project in terms of delving more deeper down into why we should do the Web3 in gaming, why we need Web3 for the gaming, and then how blockchain can enhance the user experience in the game. So I saw a lot of attempts, including us. So but then I can share with you guys about two aspects. First one is there's some meaningful efforts to democratize the game ecosystem, allowing a lot of stakeholders and then parties to participate in the game ecosystem, contribute to the game ecosystem. So there's some projects are emerging not only from the gamers but also marketers and community investors and also game builders. They can contribute to the game ecosystem by their own ways and then get some reward. So and then blockchain should come in this phase. Blockchain has blockchain is easy credential and governance and then efficient resource allocation system. It will definitely drive it faster, and then it will boost the scalability. So for example, there are a lot of examples. So users can create the new maps within the games. Also, they can suggest some great core rules of the game ideas, or execute some engaging marketing activities or ideas, and then DAO will reward that contribution. And another one I was very interested in is it's more importantly going back to the core fun of the game. So games should be fun, and then blockchain should come in to add more addictive and engaging fun on top of it. So fundamentals should still be creating the fun games. So in that perspective, so a lot of games still try to make those kind of elements going back to the core fun instead of short-term financial reward. So I want to give you some examples. So I think many of you have engaged in some simple games like rock, scissors, papers, and then you do this. When you do this without anything, it's not very fun. It's very simple games. But when you do this to decide who's gonna treat coffee or doing the golf match or bowling match for a lunch treat, it's very fun. Even though it's a rewards, it's not significantly big, but the competitive nature of the game, definitely ignite the strong desire to win, and it makes the games, that experience more intense. That's the crucial, I think, in the blockchain games. Blockchain games should start small, not big. Rather than just promising users with huge financial returns in the short term for a small amount of a user base, we just start by lowering down the barrier for the users, barrier for the existing 3 billion gamers in the world, and not even yet come to the Web3. So I think, as a game developer, we should think about, first, what kind of game genre and the types of the game and the structure are best fit with the Web3 games when we add the Web3 component. And second, we should start small and easy ways for opening for the a lot of 3 billion casual game users. Yeah.
Before we go to the next question, why don't we ask a refreshing question for the audience, to the audiences? Raise your hand if you don't like gaming. Or raise your hand if you don't like blockchain. Or raise your hand if you don't like making money. So now these audiences are qualified audiences to be in this session, right? So that's great. But given that, we need to reveal a little bit more alpha to these audiences because they are using their time to listen to this session, right? So why don't we move to the next question? Chris, you flew all the way from Korea to be here, and you have a great set of audiences here. But what makes it so exciting about this opportunity to be in India, especially in this time?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's my first time visiting India. It's awesome, and then even though it's my first time in India, but I have seen India market for a long time, and then I've seen a tremendous growth and then potential in the Indian market. Like I checked that numbers that it's more than 30% every year growth, and then which is fantastic. And then in terms of the crypto adoption, India is definitely the undisputed leading country. So, like during the past years, India's digital landscape and infrastructure has seen a strong growth. So, something that I really look into is esports things. So I think it's very important for us because I've seen a lot of young generation that look into they engage and interest in the esports because they want to participate and they want to engage in some community and then play games with the friends. So those kind of esports things are something that we as a Gomble and as a casual game developer we're really looking for. So they're participating in the offline gaming events, gaming league, and gaming tournaments, and those kind of things. They're is fostering the culture of competitions and then social engagement, social interaction within the university, on the schools, or their community, community. So the game world Gomble is building is pretty much similar, pretty much aligned with this approach. We already acquired 100 million users in the world, and then we launched 150 games so far. But looking ahead, the Gomble aims to create the Web3 games, easy Web3 games for invite Web2 users to come to Web3. So in this perspective, community and esports and easy experience is very important, and community-based FOMO is very important. So in this perspective, we're thinking to build a esports casual game world with our games first, and then we're gonna expand to the platform business as well. So in this perspective, I envision in India as a potential hub of esports casual market. So I will keep watching of this, and I think I can come to India more often. Yeah.
We carefully guess good amount of you, the audiences, are builders, and builders typically can be supported in many different aspects, but the formation of the ecosystem fund can be definitely one of the most serious contributing factors to these builders, right? So Hazel, could you share a little bit about what specific opportunities are you seeking for here?
Yeah, sure. So for aelf, I think our approach is pretty much very similar to Gomble. So we believe that there is a very large population of Web2 gamers or traditional gamers right now, and we want to find the easiest way to onboard these gamers to Web3. So in terms of projects we're looking for, it doesn't really matter which market you're from. So we've invested in a bunch in Greater China, in Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea, US, Europe, pretty much covering the space. And we do see a lot of new projects coming to us from the South Asian markets. So Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, etc. So I think in terms of the specific kind of projects we're looking for, I would say it's probably early stage projects, so anywhere between seed to Series A, that is focused on easy acquiring and onboarding of users. So the segments that will be relevant to us would be gaming and consumer related. So we particularly like the ones that lowers the entry barrier for people entering into blockchain, so it can be as seamless as possible, but at the same time retaining the core essence of a good gaming experience for people.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And lastly, Nathan. So I guess I'm not a marketing expert. You're the marketing guru. So although we share the same name, we have a very different backgrounds. But I carefully imagine conducting marketing campaigns in blockchain industry, where your audiences are very global, very diverse, coming from all the wide spectrum of the professional backgrounds, right? So speaking to these audiences can be very challenging. Could you share to these audiences some tips?
Yep. So crypto has Web3 has there's no border, of course, but definitely there's user demographic. We should care. So you have to know who your users are. Demographic means your users' gender and their age, where they are living. I mean, so there are so many users in Southeast Asia and India and East Asia, of course. So you have to choose which content you have to distribute and which communication channels you have to use. So Twitter is must, and you have to choose Discord, Telegram, maybe WeChat or Line based on the target users is living. I think we saw huge growth and success back in 2021 and 2 with the gaming kind of movement. There were so many guilds and communities flourishing. It was so successful. But then most of the users were heavy gamers though. Most of them were also collectors and investors too. So we thought maybe if there's no balance between the gamers and investors, it might not be sustainable. So when you build a community globally, there's 2 different stages between the game launch. So before game launch, mostly collectors and investors tend to come to your project because maybe the game itself is not launched. They can't play the game though, but they want to participate in the community building and the game development by providing their advice. Maybe they can they can do volunteer for the community building and manage all the things. And for their effort, they want maybe some financial rewards or any kind of membership rewards. So before game launch, you should acknowledge that users need that kind of rewards. And after that launch, gamers tend to come to your community. So most of your rewards should be allocated to the game itself, the content, and for the gamers who are spending a lot of time on your game. So there are 2 types of users, and I think with regards of the rewards, I think the financial rewards are not the whole thing. So let's say a Web3 gaming community is like sunflowers. You can make it bigger by providing some incentives, maybe token airdrops or rewards or membership points. The stem will be growing really fast and high. Maybe the flower will be really attractive to get more users, but when it's windy, the community will be really vulnerable. It's swaying a lot. So we need really firm, really wide roots, deep roots. But to have such deep roots, we need loyalty, sense of belonging, and a lot of membership and support from our users. The true passion and effort from the core team, the development team, should be really, it could be a nutrient to make it bigger, the roots. And I think to be successful globally, communities sometimes they need a lot of collaborations. So locally, like East Asia, Southeast Asia, and India, there are a bunch of different local communities and Web3 projects that you can collaborate with. So you have to find right partners to deliver right cultural value to your target audience and make a sound community there. So you have your own main community though. You should make a kind of grassroots communities in each region as well. That's what makes your community more scalable and more sustainable.
And just to add a little bit of note, Nathan is really good at, because he understands all these marketing campaigns and marketing strategies, he's really good at farming airdrop. So, in this bull market, if you want to find extra alpha, please speak to me after the session. Don't ask me right now, but after the session, please. Anyways, so that was a round of questions that we have prepared. And to wrap up the session, we'd like to ask each of you if you have any kind of wish for this market, for these audiences, for this industry, or for India in general. Why don't we start from Chris?
So you're asking wish. We all wish for the bull market, right? Don't we? So oh yeah, let me share with you about us. So Gomble's vision is to create a content-driven entertainment world by the users, from the users, for the users. Sorry for that generic things. But as gaming industry grows, there are a lot of some core and essential fun of the games are seems to be compromised. There are a lot of big game giants, and then they're pursuing the revenue, and then so that's why they're ruining the user experience, gamers' experiences. For example, there are a lot of ads when you want to play some game. There's a lot of ads, and also pressure to make the in-app purchases. So the number one we want to do is going back to the real fun of the game. So we want to minimize the abstracted things to when users play the games in the game experiences. So that's why we focus 100% on creating the fun core game rules. And additionally, we want to make the game world that you guys, gamers, can develop your own games by yourselves. Imagine that Roblox, why people are enthusiastic to Roblox, and then sometimes the new fun idea of the core game rule is coming from gamers. So we're valuing this a lot. So and also StarCraft, thinking about StarCrafts, there has been in the market over 20 years, but still, there are a lot of games coming from user map mode. So user-generated content is very key things to go longer and in the long term, stay in the long term. So that's why we're making those kind of world, the Gomble is thinking this kind of world. And then another one, the last one is we want to make the world a place where everyone can make dream come true in the game space. So you can be a knight in the castle, or animal in the forest, or something like that. So the game world we're building is we're gonna provide some different roles by respective responsibility. So for example, Gomble's NFT holders will be able to create or hold their own tournament events or game events, and then take some revenue shares. So thinking about, I think some of you already watched Squid Game from Netflix. So you remember the VIPs and the bad guys, frontman, who create the games and enjoy that, the cruel things, and then bad on the players, even they're dying. So we're not gonna, it's a metaphor. We are not gonna make that kind of cruel game. But usually it's long story short, people as a nature love to do something that they want in the game world. So we're gonna make that dreams come true. So I hope all of us can meet and then engage in our game world, and then for the fun and your dream, and then more values. Thank you.
Awesome. Hazel, could you share your wish?
Yeah, sure. So I think, first of all, I would say, there's something very unique about the Southeast Asian market. And why I'll mention about Southeast Asia first is because if you look at the traditional gaming markets in the world, Europe, China, Japan, Korea, it's pretty much very much dominated by your Web2 incumbents, very big Web2 powerhouses that have a lot of resources and a lot of existing IPs that they can easily port over to Web3, right? But for the Southeast Asian markets, traditionally looking, we don't have any gaming powerhouses. The closest we have is probably Garena, but Garena started its business as a publisher for League of Legends, which it didn't develop on its own. It then later developed Free Fire, right? So Southeast Asia has a huge potential in that you can be a relatively smaller independent studio, but if you know the market decently well, or if you have a partner in that market, you have a ready pool of users that you can pretty much acquire and tap on, especially in Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines. So what I would say is, what I hope to see from the Indian market is to have more gaming projects and developers here that developed not just game for the Indian market. I admit that it's a very large ready market here, but we also have a very large market in Southeast Asia. I do want to see more projects from this region to enter Southeast Asia because honestly, there are quite a bit of similarities between the user profiles in Southeast Asia and in India. And in terms of, I would say, overall outlook for the blockchain industry is, I think going forward, what I hope to see is that we don't just talk about education or lowering the barriers to Web3, but essentially, I mean, at least for aelf, we want to create an environment where people in the traditional industries, people in Web2, they deal with blockchain without even realizing they're actually utilizing blockchain technology. So for instance, there's a lot of talk recently about AA wallets, right, about social logins. So going forward, let's not deal with MetaMask, let's not deal with remembering C phrases, but we can have users simply create or log in using their Apple ID, and right away, they already have a wallet on the blockchain. And I think that gives any developers, any projects, a lot of freedom as to how then they want to slowly educate the users. Yeah.
Lastly, Nathan, could you briefly share your wish?
I think the mobile gaming industry has grown really rapidly since early 2010s. Back in 2010s, the market share of the mobile industry was like 18%, and within 10 years, it became like over 50% of the whole gaming market. So that was actually possible thanks to the distribution of smartphone, though. I think Web3 has potential to change the culture of gaming industry. So let's say smartphone is like a hardware to innovate the gaming industry, and Web3 is like a software to change, to innovate the Web3 gaming industry. So we are very positive about the future of Web3 gaming industry as an incubator. That's why we are working with a lot of ambitious teams like Derby Stars and Society to deliver quality game for our users. So we are also looking for some talents and people who have some ambitious vision and some good ideas within India and Southeast Asia, East Asia as well. So if you have great idea, please feel free to let us know. Thank you.
Awesome. So we got product, we got hiring opportunity, we got ecosystem integration opportunity. So I hope you all had a fantastic session today. We had Chris, Nathan, Hazel, and another Nathan here. Thank you for listening to us.